Okay, now before you guys, go wonder what the fuck is this really James Sims' channel? Okay, listen, it's plain and simple. The reason why this thing is on the screen whenever I'm talking is simple. I lost a bet. Okay, I just lost a bet. That's all I did. Okay, that's almost. I just want to clear the air because some of y'all still don't get it. I lost a bet. Okay, so there you have it. Just want to get that out the way. Now, welcome to the review of Freddy's Dead, the final nightmare.
Final.
Well, if you really think about it, Arlo, this kind of really is the final nightmare. If you truly think about it. And
how many more movies are there?
Yeah, they did make more movies, but okay, we'll get to that point when we get to it. But yeah, Freddy's Dead, the final nightmare, which Arlo's laughed about, which turned out not to be the case. Well, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5, Dream Warrior, granted, it wasn't as big of a hit that everybody thought it would be. It still made some money, but nowhere near Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4 level, which is still a franchise high. I think like 44 million, something like that. I think this made only like
34.
What's that?
Yeah, 34.
Yeah, So Part 5 didn't make as much, but it was still considered a hit, though. So they came to this movie and they want to make a final Freddy film, and what's up, Adam? You're crying at James. You made the bet. But anyway,
Right.
I'm really not in the mood for this. I just want to get this fucking review going, okay? So tonight, Freddy's Dead, the final nightmare. Robert Englund once again is brought back as Freddy, which is great. That's always a plus for me. And they wanted to make this a special event. They wanted to make this an event, so they added the 3D aspect of this film. And I'm like, okay, I like Friday the 13th Part 3, in 3D. And we're going to be in the dream world. It's going to be interesting to see where they go with this. And at the time, everybody thought this was probably going to be Robert Englund's final performance as Freddy, so I was really going into it like I'm really going to enjoy this performance. Hopefully, he bounces back from a very lackluster performance in Part 5, and it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to do this. After a fairly disappointing Part 5, thoughts going into what supposedly is going to be the final Nightmare on Elm Street movie.
Not really anything. It's more another one of these franchise. I mean, the franchise. So not really much.
Yeah, I know how you feel, but like I said, I mean, I've always enjoyed the Nightmare films. Again, the imaginations, the dream concepts. I always have fun with those. And so let's get on with the review. So the movie starts with a quote saying, "Do you know the terror of he who falls asleep, and to the very toes he is terrified because the ground gives way under him and the dream begins," by Frederick Nietzsche. And then after that, we get another quote. Right after that, simply says, "Welcome to prime time, bitch," by Freddy Krueger, which is everybody knows is the line of Freddy Krueger. So I already thought that this was going to be entertaining just when I saw that quote. So we get the opening credits, and then we get this thing where it says that Springwood, Ohio, mysterious killings and suicides wipe out the entire population of children and teenagers, and remaining adults are experiencing mass psychosis, and there is one new survivor left. So they're basically saying that every teenager has been killed. And I'm kind of like, where's Alice? You know, the dream warrior.
Where's the guy? Where's the guy? What?
Sure. And
where's the guy?
you know, okay, all right, but but yeah, I'm thinking, okay, one remaining survivor. You think it's gonna be Alice again, the Dream Warrior, the one person that has the power to defeat Freddy? No, that was not to be the case. So we get to a fairly entertaining opening scene, in my opinion. We see people on an airplane going through terrible turbulence. When we see this teenager, you could tell, he kind of, he's a little uncomfortable, as I would. I mean, an airplane, 30,000 feet in the air. Yeah, and it's thundering. You're going through major turbulence. Yeah, you're gonna be nervous. So the guy's trying to ask the flight attendant whether he could, change seats whatsoever, but they won't let him. And he's like sweating, and he's trying to remain calm, but he's still, he's scared as shit. And he once again asks, "Oh, can I please change my seat?" And they say no. And kind of a funny thing here, there's this old lady sitting next to him, and he says, I don't like flying. I'm afraid of flying. And then the old lady says, "Don't be a pussy." I kind of laughed at that. I'm like, ha, that's funny. So then, after more turbulence, we see the roof tears open, and the old lady that sits by him just shoots right out of the plane. And then the teenager, falls through, and he's falling. I'm like, okay. I've noticed in these Nightmare on Elm Street films, we always start off with a nightmare sequence. So I should have known better. So he's falling and he crashes. It seems like he crashes through a roof, but he seems to wake up from his dream. And then we kind of get some pretty, silly shit here. It completely steals Wizard of Oz's concept. What do I mean by that? Well, first off, he goes to his window and he notices that the house that he's in is falling. It's falling. Then the windows bust open. So I'm thinking, okay, this is actually a pretty fun way to start the movie. And I kind of like his reaction when he looks out the window and goes, "Oh, shit." So the windows bust open, everything's falling over, and then we get to something I thought was, I'm not the biggest fan of how they introduced Freddy in this. You see, so all of a sudden we hear somebody laughing, and it turns out that Freddy is basically dressed up as a witch. He's laughing, And he goes, "I'll get you, my little pretty, and your little soul too." I'm like, okay. I mean, it was cooler seeing Freddy walk down the alley with his arms stretched out. Him as a witch, not the biggest fan of. So the house finally crashes, and he's in a highway, and we get an appearance from the dude Robert Shaw. I think that's what his name is. The producer of these of the Nightmare on Elm Street films, if I remember correctly. I think his name is Robert Shaw. Yeah, I think Robert Shaw was his name. And he has the Freddy glove and say, "Here you go. Here's a one-way ticket bus trip." So he gets the ticket, and then a bus runs him over, hits him. Freddy's driving the bus, and of course, kids screaming, and then Freddy goes, no screaming while the bus is in motion." Now, I can already tell that Robert Englund, he knew his performance in Part 5 was bad, so you could tell that I could tell that his energy was back up, and I could tell that he was having fun with the role again. Because in Part 5, you could just tell he was mailing it in. Already, you could tell that Robert Englund's going to make sure he gives a better performance. And so far, again, entertaining. So no screaming while the bus is in motion. And the shit goes into complete Looney Tune level, where Freddy does a hard stop. The kid, crashes through it looks like a screen. He busts through. It's daylight now, and his head hits the rock. So Freddy, he tries to, because I guess now the kid's in the reality world now. He tries to put his hand out, but it wouldn't let him. And Freddy goes, "Now be a good little doggy and fetch." And the kid wakes up and he explores the new town that he's in. So pretty entertaining stuff. Again, I like the dream sequences. They're always fun and imaginative and entertaining. Freddy, kind of comical for my liking, but it's always nice to see Robert Englund. And I would like to say a pretty entertaining opening to the movie. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I actually didn't hate it. I didn't really get it because I don't know what they're I don't know what they're doing with it. Just trying to make it more comical, more for the times. But if they're going, I mean, you can obviously tell they're not going for that scary movie kind of thing. Because if they were, all this hoopla and stuff that they're adding would not be in there. But for what they're trying to do, not trying to make it too serious, but making it pieces of it scary, they're doing a pretty good job. With like the old lady like James you were talking about, on like the airplane and different vehicles, being in Dream World, but we haven't really saw anything like this, like a whole bunch of locations and stuff in one Dream World. We just see somebody get transported to one, or like the last one, somebody got like transported to, what is it called, like a church with the hospital, like where Freddy plays. Usually that's where they get transported, and I still get that in this, but it's like a bunch of places instead of just one now, which I like. But this opening scene though, that was pretty good.
I actually kind of had fun with it. And so the kid wakes up. Apparently, he's making a long story short, apparently has amnesia. And then we meet then we meet a new group of kids. First we meet Breckin Meyer as Spencer, who's getting hounded by his rich father. It was nice to see Breckin Meyer. If you don't know what Breckin Meyer is, he was in movies like Road Trip, which I think is a funny movie, and Franklin and Dash.
Franklin and Bash.
Bash, Franklin and
Yeah.
Bash.
He was in the Garfield movies too.
Yeah, the Garfield movies. So it was pretty cool to see him in a younger role. Then we meet and then we also meet Lisa Zane's character, whose name is Maggie. She works with the kids. Looks like it's another I forgot what place that they said that it was. Like a shelter for a youth shelter for troubled teens. Yeah, that's what it was. A youth shelter for troubled teens. She like watches over the kids. In the meantime, we meet Spencer. Then we meet Tracy by Lezlie Deane. Who comes off as like the tough chick of the group. Then we meet the teenager from the beginning, who apparently the police picked him up and say that he's lost, and they transfer him to the youth shelter. For some reason, kind of remind me of Terminator 1 when they found Kyle Reese. And then we also meet Carlos, who has who's deaf. And so I was like, okay. I normally like the characters that they bring in these nightmare films. I'm gonna see what these characters can give us. Tracy she's more like into kickboxing and MMA. She's training, and then Carlos is like being the cheerleader, and Spencer and them try to basically devise a plan to run away and steal the money and stuff. So I'm like, okay. And then we also meet the therapist. I think his name was Yaphet Kotto. I saw him before. He was in Alien. He was in Alien, which is another one of my favorite films. So it was pretty cool to see him. And make a long story short, we basically get to know each of these characters. We've learned that Maggie, is starting to have like these weird, reoccurring dreams, but she kind of brushes it off like it's nothing. And we also meet, and then we get information that the teenager, who is later, called John Doe, he's now been transferred into the youth shelter. So we already got some character development so far. We meet our new group of characters. Arnold, at first glance, what did you think of the new characters that we had to deal with in this movie?
It was nice to see who said Breckin Meyer, because you don't really see too many people who go from horror movies into good careers, especially like good acting careers or producers or all that kind of stuff. And it's good to see somebody do that, come from that. The other two, whatever. The therapist, though, she was kind of hot, so yeah.
She was kind of hot, yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
No weird. I don't know.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. No biggie. And Maggie's character, she's kind of interested in because John Doe basically has nothing on him but caffeine pills and a newspaper article of a woman, Loretta Krueger. Basically looking for any clues, for who he is, basically. And so Maggie is falling asleep, and then all of a sudden, I like this how the uh, what was her name again? Loretta Krueger coming out of the newspaper article saying, I won't tell," and it looks like we get to a flashback scene of a little girl, running, and her dad chasing her. So I'm kind of like, I wonder where this is going. Loretta Krueger, and we don't see the face of the father that's chasing this little girl. So I'm thinking, okay, where are they going with this? And then we get to the next scene where John Doe is trying to keep himself awake, saying, like 100 bottles of beer on the wall. He's been saying it all night, and then he has roommates, and I kind of like how they throw the pillow at him and goes like, "Hey, shut the fuck up!" And then I think he says something like he's gone up to like 4,600 bottles of beer on the wall. So I'm like, wow, he's trying to keep himself awake. So then John Doe, of course, he falls asleep and he wakes up and he sees this little girl who was in the dream looking at him. So John goes, "Tell me who I am." And the daughter goes, "I won't tell." And so we get another dream sequence. And John Doe is basically, he's following the little girl, and then we go back into reality. John Doe just basically walking around the hospital. So he's following the little girl up the stairs, and then he opens a door, and then he finds he basically finds himself, in a padded room with a straitjacket, with blood all over the place. And then like the dude's like screaming like "Free me, you idiot," and all that stuff. And then of course he freaks out, and then in the meantime accidentally bumps into the security guard, knocking him through the window. And then I kind of like how the security goes like, "You fucking idiot," or something like that. So I'm like, okay, interesting, I figured. So Maggie's trying to talk to John Doe, saying that he sees a young little girl and describes her, and then Maggie herself recognizes the little girl because the little girl was in her dream as well. So I figured, okay, there's some connection going on here. I'm kind of trying to put two and two together, but it's still kind of a blur to me. So she goes to the therapist, and then he's trying to convince her that there's something connected with these dreams here, and then whatsoever, and she still doesn't want to believe it, and she still believes it's not a coincidence. And then for the next scene, Maggie wants to take John Doe to Springwood, they basically jog his memory to see who he is and whatsoever. So she grabs him and they get in the van and they drive down to Springwood. Now, as they're driving down to Springwood, he somehow falls asleep again, and he like wakes up and goes, I told you to keep me awake. Is that so hard to ask? And as they are driving, oh, sorry. As they're driving, they run into, I think, A nightmare warns John to, basically go back. It's basically telling him to go back, right? The little girl telling him to go back, and then he stops the truck abruptly. Thus, while it stops, Carlos, Tracy, and Spencer are basically revealed to be in the back of the van. Basically saying that, damn, the plan ruined, and of course Maggie's pissed off and said, we're gonna get into town, and once we get into town, we'll find a way to get you back. So, Earl, there's some sort of weird connection going on with this John Doe and Maggie character, and this little girl appears in their dreams. And I like to say Freddy is involved, but I don't know how he's involved in this. But again, I'm having fun with the dream sequences. So for the John Doe character, he's not bothering me. The Lisa Zane Maggie character isn't bothering me. To be honest, I'm kind of more interested in the three kids more. But so far it's not bothering me. It's going at a pretty quick pace. It's not dragging on. So intriguing. All of your thoughts.
Yeah. I like it. It's not something amazing. It's not crazy good. It's not terrible. It's what it is. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Though the characters and stuff. We find out more in the movie how each of them have a backstory, but we'll get to it. I just really like that fact, but so far it's good. Going towards the town and stuff, trying to find answers. Maggie having her dreams, and John just fucking crazy. And yeah, the kids, the three kids, being there and their issues and stuff, and Freddy doing what he's doing in this, and yeah, it's going pretty well.
Yeah, it actually is. So they drive into what I think is probably possibly the most creepiest carnival I've ever seen, the most nastiest carnival I've ever seen in my life. So they go to this carnival, and there's hardly nobody there. Like, none. Because, again, they're in Springwood, and all the kids have been killed. So there's no kids there. It's just adults. Like, for example, they go there, and there's, like, nobody riding the rides. There's only one adult riding the go-karts. There's like a fucking pie with some roaches coming out of it. I'm like, that's nasty. So they go, and Maggie basically forces the kids, to basically drive back to the shelter, or she'll notify the police and whatsoever. And reluctantly they agree. And again, they're going around this carnival, and it's just weird. Like, there's no kids in this carnival. So Spencer is trying to make a phone call, and runs into Roseanne Barr. And I'm like, oh, God. No. No, okay, I mean, I kind of like the show. Not the biggest fan of Roseanne per se, but I could tolerate the show. I watched a couple of episodes. I watch it for John Goodman, personally. Yeah, but once I saw Roseanne wobble towards the phone booth. I was like, oh, fuck.
That was her?
Yeah, that was her.
Wow.
Yeah. So, so I saw her wobbling towards the phone booth. I knew it was her immediately. So she's like, oh my God, you precious children. It's been so long since we've had children. And I'm like, oh God, no, please, please. And to make matters worse, Roseanne's ex-husband, Tom Arnold, comes out. And then he's like, no, like, don't talk to them. You'll summon him again, Freddy. And when whatsoever. And then I'm like, why is Roseanne and Tom Arnold in this film? I don't need to see Roseanne and Tom Arnold in the Nightmare on Elm Street film. I'm sorry. So yeah, after we get that somewhat weird scene with me, I don't know, it was just weird, and even the kids thought it was weird. So they agreed. So they all agree to go. So Maggie forces them to drive back while Maggie and John go in and investigate this town. So the whole time, Tracy and Spencer and Carlos, they basically go in circles. And again, like I said, people shitted on Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, for Freddy messing with the real world and manipulating the real world. Like, no, that's not right. When he's doing it again in this situation. Fuck, he even did it in Part 1 with Nancy with the phone situation. I'm your boyfriend now. He did it in Part 1. Did it in Part 2. Did it in Part 3. He's doing it now. But again, Part 2, people shit on. Like, come on. So while Freddy's making the kids drive around in circles, John Doe and Maggie find this chalkboard drawing of Freddy. And all around the town, you get like little clues, like to get the chalkboard of Freddy. It says 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. And while that happens, the three kids are still going around in a circle again. And again, proof that Freddy is manipulating the real world again. And Spencer trying to tell Tracy, tell Tracy that you're lost. You don't know where you're going. And then Tracy's like, no, shut up. I know what I'm doing whatsoever. Like, I'll take these 2 fingers and explode your heart whatsoever. And Tracy tells Carlos to, look at the map and see where we are. Again, Freddy fucking with the real world again. Carlos opens up the map, and the map gets longer and longer and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And then Carlos finds and it says in the map, you're fucked. And and then Tracy's like yelling at him like Carlos. And then Carlos is like, what? And then she's like, did you look at the map, Carlos? And then Carlos says, yeah, I looked at the map, and the map says we're fucked. I thought that was funny. I laughed at that. So Spencer says, let me drive and whatsoever. So now they're still trying to get the hell out, trying to figure out get the hell out of town. Maggie and John appear at this Springwood High School, where Nancy, Alice all attended. And as they show up, again, more of the Freddy theme. 3, 4, better lock your door. And then we meet this teacher who is basically, there's no kids to teach. So he's basically talking to himself, whatsoever. So I'm like, interesting. So at the school, they find the origin of the article of Loretta Krueger, and they learn that Freddy had a child who was taken away after Freddy's murder trial, and they go to the local town orphanage, and they go to the orphanage. You know, and while the little kid, and we see a woman going, well, you're like, skip to my Lou, and all that stuff. And the matron recognizes John and Maggie, recognizes them both. So I'm like, okay, more of a connection here. And then John realizes that he suspects that he's Freddy's son. But, you know, of course, Maggie doubts it. You know, but being that it's kind of weird that the lady recognized Maggie as well. So Arlo, so we're kind of getting slow. It seems like they're trying to turn this. We're trying to learn where they're going to take us to where this all started with Freddy. You know, we're going to learn that he had a child or whatsoever, and from what it looks like, pretty much put two and two together. It seems like the person in the dreams I was chasing a little girl. It was Freddy himself in human form. So interesting. I'm like, at first I'm like, I would not like to know Freddy's origin, but I'm still kind of intrigued by it. And I'll give Tracy and Spencer and Carl's credit. They're kind of entertaining me. They're basically at each other's throats about getting lost. Even though I kind of think Tracy, I think she's trying too hard with the tough girl act. I'm like, okay, now it seems like kind of forcing it a little bit, while Spencer and Carlos seem more natural. I kind of think the Tracy character is trying too hard to convince us she's a tough chick. I understand the backstory and all that stuff, but this seems kind of forced to me. But I'm having fun. I'm enjoying the three characters. So, Arlo, your thoughts on the carnival scene, them getting lost, and the investigation of Freddy's origin?
The clown stuff, and I was really been paying attention to that. You guys can tell because I don't even know the fucking Roseanne. I'm pretty sure I knew that was Tom Arnold, but I wasn't really paying attention too much to that. To his origin, that was kind of interesting, but as in I think it was the last movie when we were discussing that his mom was like locked in, and basically the son of 100 maniacs. I didn't need to know that, and I didn't need to know he had a kid either. And then it was not important, but they had to pull out something out their ass instead of just going on trying to kill people. We'll put a backstory, guys. The scene, Carlos, I thought that was a little funny. We're like, we're fucked. The map says we're fucked, so we're fucked. It's good. Yeah, I think that's what happened.
Who are you more entertained by? The kids, or Maggie and John?
The kids, for sure.
Yeah.
The Maggie and John just seem like this is boring. That's what they came across as.
Yeah, they seemed a little bit more boring. But so Tracy and Carlos and Spencer, they realize that they can't find a way to get out. So Tracy basically says, fuck this, and then she starts to leave. Said, I'm not turning myself over to Maggie for adult supervision. And then Spencer's like, Carlos says, she's losing it, bro. And Spencer says, and you know what the sad thing about it is? I'm actually starting to like her. And Carlos says, yeah, that is sad. And, well, I mean, we know Arlo likes her. She says she's kind of fine. So, so they travel upon Elm Street, and they go into a house. And they go into a house, and it's the 1428 Elm house, Nancy's house, well, now Freddy's house. And then, of course, Carlos falls asleep. And then we get to a dream sequence, of we basically learn that he's trapped in his old neighborhood, and Freddy is disguised as his mother. And the mother's like, we need to clean your ears and all that stuff. And she grabs like a Q-tip, a very long Q-tip, and then he's like, putting it in his ear and shit. And I'm like, oh, like even I kind of cringed at that. I'm like, damn. So in the meantime, he put the Q-tip in, Carlos's ear, thus popping his hearing aid out. And Carlos peers the hearing aid out, and he's walking around, and seems like in the boiler room, of course. And I kind of think this is kind of funny here. Carlos can't hear. So I like how it kind of made it seem like everything was silent. And then, of course, you see Freddy trolling, he's like mocking him. He's behind Carlos, jumping around, acting like he's screaming, we can't hear Freddy and all that stuff. Again, like I said, you can tell that Robert Englund's energy is brought back up again. You can tell he's having fun. A little too comical for my taste, especially with this scene, him behind Carlos just mocking him. But that's just how Freddy is. Freddy loves humiliating people. He loves, using people's fear and using it against them. So, like what Chris said in last week, Freddy enjoys doing this stuff. So again, it makes him very sick. So again, like Freddy's like, trolling him, and then Carlos goes, give me my hearing back. And then, Freddy, tosses the hearing aid at Carlos, and Carlos grabs it, puts it in his ear. But then the fucking thing gets bigger. And it gets bigger, and then Freddy has like a little nail. And then Carlos knows, please, don't. And Freddy just drops it. And, of course, it's painful. And then Freddy has more nails, and Carlos is pleading for him, no, don't do it. But, of course, Freddy's laughing, drops the nails, and I kind of had to, I felt sorry for the Carlos kid, because I'm like, damn, this is just torture, Freddy. So Freddy,
who would have thought Freddy would have tortured somebody?
But yeah, okay, yeah. So Freddy grabs, he has like a chalkboard. He's stretching it out and shit. Like just the look on Freddy's face when he's stretching it out is hilarious. And then, Carlos knows what he's about to do. So he's like, please, no. And while he's saying no, Freddy keeps nodding his head yes. And he like scraping his knife through on the chalkboard again, which is a shitty sound. I'm pretty sure, Arlo, you've heard it. I've heard it. Nails to a chalkboard. Oh, that shit is irritating. Has that ever happened to you, Arlo?
No.
You never had to your nails on a chalkboard?
Not fan. I'm not 30.
Oh well, I have, and it sucks. Fuck
I
you,
grew up
Arnold.
with dry erase boards and the projectors and smart
Well,
boards and stuff.
yeah, well, in Chicago public schools, okay, they had chalkboards. Okay, all right,
Yeah,
so
I got that. Yeah, but then the weird part about here though is like we're one of the most funded states in terms of education, but it's not very good for education. So in
yeah,
terms of
you can say that
grades,
again.
like a lot of these schools have like ton of like funding and stuff, but people are still failing, being stupid.
All right, don't get me started on that. But so Freddy, he takes his whole knives and he's like, scratching the chalkboard. And Freddy's reaction to this is just, it's just priceless. Because again, Freddy's a troll. He's a troll. So while he keeps scratching it, Carlos's head keeps getting bigger and bigger. His nose and eyes start bleeding, thus making his head explode. And then his head explodes, and good effect, really good effect. And head explodes, and the hearing aid in his ear, it flies off, and Freddy catches his ear, and he goes, "Nice hearing from you, Carlos." And I'm like, Freddy, wow, bro, you are too much. Oh man, so yeah, so Arnold, thoughts on Carlos' death scene. Arnold.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the Carlo. I have to switch back to my screen. Fuck, weird. Bruce Jenner. Um, yeah, Carlos dad. That was actually pretty. I actually really liked that when him like taunting him and stuff. And I'm like, oh, sure, that's actually. I mean, it's not like exactly what I wanted, but this franchise isn't very that serious, to be completely honest. Besides the first movie. Um, but yeah, like this happening and stuff is like just dropping a bunch of tags though. That was a little silly for me for the hearing aid. Like I like the effects, I like the idea behind it, but it wasn't thought out well. I don't know. They could have done a lot better with it, but they didn't. Um, but yeah, uh, like they brought in like a human element to it. Um, that they will do with another character. And it was okay. It could have been a lot better before what they had.
Yeah. So far, I would say Carlos basically have had the best death of the movie.
How
So
many deaths have there been?
yeah, this is really the first person Freddy has killed.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point. So, Carlos dies, and Maggie cannot find Carlos. So, not Maggie. Tracy goes to look for Maggie, and Spencer, who likes to smoke weed, uh, even though Tracy has warned him, especially in the van, don't smoke that. That shit's gonna make you tired and stuff. He smokes the weed and he's watching TV, and you see Carlos in the TV, pleading Spencer, like Spencer, don't fall asleep, man, don't fall asleep. And Spencer goes, "Hey, Carlos, we're just looking for you, man." And he falls asleep eventually. And then, funny, Spencer wakes up and we find Johnny Depp on the TV screen, and he goes, and though he does the whole classic, this is your brain, shows an egg, and this is your brain on drugs in the frying pan. And then I'm like, coming from Johnny Depp, that's very ironic. See, before Pirates of the Caribbean and shit, okay, Johnny Depp was into some shit back in his early career. So after he does that demonstration, Freddy hits him in the face with a frying pan. Sorry. He's like, he hits Johnny Depp, and he goes, "Hey, what are you on? Looks like a frying pan with some eggs in it to me." I'm like, wow. And then Freddy goes, "Hey, Spence, let's trip out." So we get some LSD music and shit. Like when you're high, you start seeing these weird colors and whatsoever. And I mean, obviously some shit people like the hippies were taking and stuff. And then, Spencer is trying to touch TV. And then I really like the effects of these, though. I mean, like the colors are coming out the TV, surrounding Spencer. I get, like, that's the one thing I've always liked about these Nightmare on Elm Street films, just the imagination. And Spencer finds himself in the TV, in LSD world. So Tracy was able to find Maggie and John. You get to the house, and now they're gonna try to look for Spencer. And then this is okay. I said Carlos. Okay, Carlos has the best kill in my opinion, but I think this dream sequence is the most fun without the whole movie. So Spencer is basically in the TV, and Freddy is basically playing him as a video game. And then you see Freddy, playing with the controller and stuff. And you see Spencer jumping over like a rat, jumping over stuff, getting to the next level, and he's fighting like his father. His father has like a tennis racket, beating him like, "Be like me, be like me, be like me," and stuff. I'm sitting here like, this is actually pretty fun. I'm liking this right now. And then Freddy is playing the father, and he goes, "Father knows best." He keeps pressing the button, hitting Spencer. And then Spencer counters, grabs the tennis racket, hits the dad like, "I will never be like you. I am not like you." And then all of a sudden, we see an even bigger version of Spencer father, coming in and smacks him, and Spencer falls to the tree. And he falls to the tree and finds an apple, bites it, giving him extra strength, calling himself like Super Spencer and stuff. And then Freddy goes, "Really cool graphics." I'm enjoying this. I think this is really cool. I really love the idea of playing Spencer as a video game. Again, this is more on the comical side. Freddy's more of a comedic act in this film, but Freddy's still entertaining to me in this film. So Arnold, your thoughts thus far?
I like the Spencer's death and stuff. It was it's gonna show me what the picture is.
The don't look.
Yeah.
The don't look.
I'm trying not to, but it's a habit. I have to look back, and I'm like, fuck, I forgot.
What do you think?
Yeah, Spencer.
How do you think I feel right now?
Like a woman with a dick.
Okay, look, I'm so used to seeing me with 4 or 5 fine chicks, by my side. Then I gotta do
Debatable.
this. I gotta do this shit. It. Just continue, Arlo.
I was just gonna say, I liked how they incorporated like the graphics and stuff because that's I'll give them one thing though. They always are cutting edge on the whole graphic side of things. I mean, not probably they don't do the best job on like making sense or even being completely serious about a horror movie, but in terms of graphics and stuff, they were way ahead of their time. Um, I like that. I like the Spencer part. Like that's what they did. Like the 3 kids, basically. No, basically everybody in the movie that Freddy is attacking and stuff. Like they show their background and what's their issues and stuff like that. So I'm trying to give everybody a character. Um, so that's good. And the whole and being in the dream and stuff like that. I like that for Spencer. I think it was.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. But but yeah, I'm actually. I mean, again, a lot of Nightmare on Elm Street fans hate this film, saying it's too much like a joke, too much of a cartoon. Yeah, I could say that. It's definitely the Freddy from Nightmare Part 1 to this is night and day. Not nearly the same Freddy, but it's still entertaining to me. It's not scary, but it's entertaining. So so there's still John and Maggie, Tracy are still trying to find Spencer, and then Freddy has the ability to take Spencer and basically throws him through a window. And John goes, I found Spencer! And then they're trying to revive Spencer, but Spencer keeps, selling pain. Because in the video game, Freddy's kicking him, and Trace goes, oh my god, he's getting the shit kicked out of him! And then you see the Freddy cartoon just stomping on him. I don't know why, I was just laughing at the Freddy cartoon. So they're trying to contain him, and then John says a pretty I thought was a pretty funny line. I'm trying to look back here and see what he's saying. I go to my quotes. He says, "I have to bring him out before he gets killed," and then Maggie goes, "No, you can't." And then all of a sudden, Spencer comes up, and then his head hits the roof, and he stays there. And then, he hits his head, and then John goes, what do you call that, rational? And then Spencer comes down, walking like a complete video game character. He's hopping around and stuff, and his head's bouncing up on the wall. And again, I'm like, this shit is so silly and absurd, but it's funny to me. He's, punching walls and shit. And you see Freddy is, he's imitating what Spencer's doing, punching. And again, I'm having fun with this. Freddy's making him jump all over the place. And of course, Maggie's trying to look at what the fuck is going on here. Like all 3, Tracy and John, are confused. No, then eventually Tracy and John find Freddy playing the game, and then Tracy kicks the controller away from Freddy. Freddy goes, "Hey!" And they unplug the controller. Thus, Spencer giving the ability to beat down Freddy, video game Freddy. And then Freddy has a smile on his face, and then he says, and then Freddy goes, "Hey, you forgot the power glove!" He
I
closes the
fucking hated
door.
that. I hated that so much.
Hated what?
Well, you forgot the power of my. You forgot my fist in your ass, bitch.
You forgot the power glove. And he closes the door, and he uses that glove to hit Spencer, thus making Spencer. He like Freddy's going boing 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 boing. Like I'm sitting here like this is so fucking silly. Like this is comical right now. Like I shouldn't be laughing, but it's entertaining. And then in the video game, it makes it seem like Freddy's about to push him into like a bunch of his fathers, with the tennis gloves, all saying "Be like me, be like me." But then in reality, making Spencer fall down the stairs into what it looks like to be hell. And then Freddy, Freddy has a high score, and then Freddy says, and then Freddy goes, "Oh, my new high score." Then Freddy's laughing at himself like he's proud that he beat his high score and shit. And then we get another cool effect while the blood of Spencer is in the TV, and Freddy has now gained another soul. And the blood's leaking out the TV. And then Freddy says, "It feels great to be back in the business, thanks to you." And he's talking to Maggie while he says that. And then Tracy, does a flip onto Freddy. And then, he kicks Freddy in the balls. And then now we learn that now Tracy's in the fucking dream. And right now, and just before Maggie wakes up Tracy, Freddy takes a swipe at her, but then Tracy wakes up. And then we learn that now John is asleep, and now Tracy and Maggie, they're on a run to get him awake. So Arlo, as silly and as absurd as Spencer's death was, I had fun with it. I thought it was pretty fucking funny. Arlo, your thoughts?
It's so stupid. That's all I have to say about it. Fuck that shit. No. That's all I have to say. Fuck.
I'm right there with you, but again, I was entertained. I was entertained with it. Yeah. Yeah, I know it's stupid. It's stupid. But hey, it's Robert fucking Englund. I mean, he could. So far in these movies, he proved he can make anything work. I mean, fuck. Anybody else?
You could shit on your desk and you'll be happy.
Shit on my desk?
And you would be happy, yes.
Well, I wouldn't want shitting on my desk, but shit on somebody else's desk would be funny. I mean, if it was anybody else, I'd say fuck this scene. But Robert Englund he does it in a way it makes it work when he does it. I don't know, okay? It's like the fucking Rock, all right? When the Rock says stupid shit, but because it's the Rock and how he's saying it, it's funny, all right? So, just saying, all right? Don't disrespect Robert Englund, bro. He's a legend. But, so John is asleep, and we're back to the same old shit. He's in the room again that was in the beginning. And then he goes to open the window, except he's in a rather nice neighborhood, Springwood neighborhood. And then I'm like, okay, something bad's gonna happen here. So he walks outside, but then he wait, hang on. Okay, yeah, now I remember. Okay, so he walks outside, and then he falls through again, like he's falling through toward the earth while the house is going up. Then he wakes up again, and then he goes, "Nope, nope, no way. I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying on this bed." And when he does that, the bed catches on fire. He's like, "You gotta be fucking kidding me!" And then, of course, no, he crashed out the house again. So I'm like, holy fuck. So he's falling, and then he has a parachute attached to him. So he unhatches the parachute. Thus, in reality world, he crashes through the ceiling of the van. And then he's going down, and then here comes Freddy. Freddy's just mocking him, laughing at him, and he's coming down towards him. And then John tells him that you're not gonna kill me. And he goes, "Oh, I see. So you think I'm your daddy? Wrong." And he's like, cutting loose of John's parachute. And he says, "Well, wait, how come you would why did it take you so long to kill me?" He said, just long enough that you brought me back, bring me back my daughter. So now we know Freddy does have a child, but it's a daughter. So after he's like cutting loose the final strap of the parachute, he goes, "And guess what? You're grounded." Cuts off the strap, and John is falling through. And then as John is falling, we see Freddy, pushing the bed of nails. And he's like, he's just sitting there because he's so exhausted. And then John hits the bed of nails, and now John's dead. So I'm like, oh wow, the person who you thought was gonna be the survivor dies. So I thought that was an interesting take here. So now it's like, who's gonna be the final girl now? So yeah, Arlo, your thoughts on John's death scene?
Very cartoonish and like it. You're grounded. Fuck that. That's stupid shit. That's serious.
But Arlo, you kind of forgetting that. Arlo, at this point of the movie, and the way how the tone is set, bro, you should know that let me see who directed this movie. Fucking Rachel Talle, and Michael DeLuca, the screenplay writer. At this point, you should know that the movie's gonna be cartoony.
Yeah, doesn't mean I have to like it.
You're not even entertained by it?
Oh.
Bro, but even... Oh, man. So you say it was too cartoony for you? Which I agree. I'm not disagreeing with you. I agree. But at the same time, I'm having fun with it.
Yes, you are.
Well, if this was like a Halloween film, a Friday the 13th film, yeah, it's shitty. But a serial killer and dream concepts, you should know eventually it will get cartoony. Right? What?
Doesn't mean I have to like it.
I'm not saying you have to like it. I'm just okay, whatever.
I understand what they're doing in the movie. I'm not a fucking idiot, but I don't like it, so I'm not getting into it.
Okay, all right. I get it. So, so Maggie goes back to the youth shelter, and now all of a sudden the youth shelter, they have no clue who Carlos and John was. They have no clue what Maggie's talking about. They have no clue what Tracy's talking about. Because again, they don't want to bring Freddy back by mentioning him. They don't want the townspeople scared again because they know that's how Freddy gets his powers. So Maggie, who is destined to get to the bottom of things, she goes to I think she goes to her mother's house. Yes. Maggie confirms her suspicions, and then we later found out that Maggie is adopted, and but her adoptive mother has no clue about Maggie's parents. Right there in that scene, I was like, "That's Freddy's daughter. That is her daughter right there."
So obvious.
It got really obvious right there. I mean, so I thought it was either going to be. At first, I thought it was going to be Tracy, because let's remember, Freddy was a child killer. Let's not forget, though, it's also hinted that Freddy was a child molester, and then we learned that Tracy was molested by her father. So I was like, okay, this could be Freddy's daughter. But once the adoptive mother said that Maggie does not have any information about her parents, I was like, it's her. It's her. And again, I'm not minding Lisa Zane's performance here. In fact, I don't think she's bad. I could tolerate her, but this is called The Final Friday. Freddy's dead, and this is gonna be the chick that's gonna kill Freddy. Freddy's daughter. Again, where's the fucking Dream Master? Just saying. But so yeah, so after we get the realization that that Maggie's adopted, Tracy is falling asleep, and even though it's tried to make a guess to see who was the daughter, I already knew immediately who it was. Tracy's sleeping and Maggie's asleep, and we get to the dream sequence again of which I now know is Freddy chasing after his daughter. He's like, come to daddy. And all of a sudden we see Loretta, which we now know is Freddy's wife, was in the basement and found Freddy's found the glove and all that shit. And then she's trying to tell Robert, who's Freddy as Robert Englund now, like, I won't tell Fred. And then Robert Englund's like looking at her with evil eyes, and he said, we need to talk, Loretta. And he looks at his daughter. He goes, I go inside, sweetie. And then he's like, I told you, don't go down there. And he's violently shaking her. Hell, even in normal form, he's kind of wearing Freddy colors a little bit. He has a red shirt with a green t-shirt over it. He's violently shaking her, and then of course, his daughter is going through the basement. Again, we find the glove and the evidence and all that shit. And then she confronts Freddy, now Maggie, as a full-grown adult wearing the daughter clothing. And she tells Freddy, who's now in his demonic phase. And I kind of like this scene between the two here. Like, she tells Freddy, I know who I am now. And then Freddy goes, yes, you're my daughter. And then they took you away from me. But they tried to take you away from me. But, oh, man, I made them pay. And he said, now... And he said they took you away from me, but now it's over and whatsoever. So we get the realization, long story short, that Maggie's Freddy's fucking daughter. So then he tells him, come follow me. And he now he used her to take him to a new town to kill children, and his first target is the youth shelter, and he's gonna go attack Tracy. And he says, "Every city has an Elm Street," and now it's Elm Street. So now Freddy has a new town to kill children in, and we now learn that Maggie is Freddy's daughter, which I'm kind of on. Again, they did the same thing with Jason having a sister. They did the same thing with Halloween 2, how he has Jamie Lee Curtis is his sister, now Freddy has a daughter. I'm kind of on it. I'm not the biggest fan of this idea, but I'm interested to see where it goes. Arlo, your thoughts?
I like the dynamic. I'm not. I don't know. Just making it. I'm kind of interested because they're showing it, but I'm kind of not because I don't really care for it. But the way they're doing the whole personal thing, it's not really my style. But I like the Robert Englund because as a human, for some reason, he looks a lot more creepy than he does as Freddy. I don't know why. It just looks like that. But yeah, I like the whole the Wyatt finding out all this shit. But I'm not a fan of like, oh, you're my daughter now. You gotta kill him or some shit like that. I'm like, we already know what's gonna happen. Kind of obvious.
Right, but at the same time, I'm kind of again. I don't mind Maggie, but I just know as I'm like, I just don't have that connection with Maggie that I had with Nancy or that I had with Alice. I don't know. I'm just like, I'm kind of like with Jessica on Friday Jason Goes to Hell. I'm like, why does it have to be her? You know, like that's just how I felt. So now Tracy's in a dream where she's back home, and then her father, who we now learn that sexually molested her, is trying to get her, and then Tracy proceeds to beat the fuck out of her dad. Like beating the shit out of him, and I'm like, damn. And then the father just gets right back up. He just like no sells it like the fucking Undertaker. His face is all mangled and whatsoever. Like, this is how you treat daddy. And then of course, it turns into Freddy. He's like, what's wrong with you kids today? No respect. And he goes, and then he mocks Tracy, going, oop, you better speak up. Must be my deaf ear, making fun of killing Carlos. And Tracy goes to beat the fuck out of Freddy. But then, Freddy counters it, backhands her. And then Freddy doesn't. He says another funny line. I gotta go back and find it. No, he says "Kung Fu this bitch." Again, it's just I just love when Freddy does that when he calls people a bitch. So Tracy goes to fight him again, tries to break his arm, and then he goes like, "This is my dream now." And then Freddy goes, "It may be your dream, but it's my rules." And he frees himself from getting his arm broken. And then Tracy decides to burn herself to wake herself up before Freddy can get her. And then we learn that Maggie learns that Tracy brought the burns out and whatsoever. And then we get to another scene where the dream therapist is in a locker room, and Then Freddy just being a troll. In this scene, it has my favorite Freddy quote, and we'll get to that. Well, one of my favorite Freddy quotes, where so Dream Therapist is like slowly walking into the rec hall, and then of course Freddy appears, and I gotta find this quote. Freddy said, I laughed so hard. The Dream Therapist finds a baseball bat, and Freddy says, he goes, "How do you like this, Doc?" And he's like doing cartwheels and spinning wheel kicks and shit. And when he does that, he gets hit in the face with the baseball bat. And I don't know, seeing Freddy get his ass kicked is just hilarious to me. I don't know why, but it is. So Dream Therapist is beating the fuck out of him. And I'm laughing right now watching it. And Freddy gets up, and then this is one of my favorite Freddy quotes. He takes his hand and goes, "First, they tried burning me." Cuts off one of his fingers. "Then they tried burying me." Cuts another one of his fingers off. And then he goes, "And this is my favorite. Then they tried holy water." Cuts another one of his fingers off. He said, "But I just keep on ticking." And then his fingers reappears again. I really enjoyed that line right there. So then Freddy, goes to attack the Dream Therapist, but then he wakes up abruptly. So, and then Maggie and Tracy and Dream Therapist, they devise a plan to get Freddy. So now Arlo, Freddy has now found a way to get in people's dreams again. He has the power again, and some pretty entertaining shit. Freddy getting his ass kicked most of the time. Freddy giving us his more awesome quotes, and I'm I'm like still intrigued. All your thoughts?
I don't know. I like the therapist though. He's one of the only good actors in the movie.
Agreed.
Yeah. Cutting out his fingers, I'm like, oh, that's cool. I don't really much to say about it. I think we went on too much in this scene. I mean, just this.
Oh. Okay. Thank you, Arlo, for your insight. So Doc, in the meantime, brings out a piece of Freddy's sweater when he wakes up, and Maggie volunteers to go get Freddy and drag him into reality. So the Doc, gives her special glasses to see past the Freddy's tricks, and this is where we include the 3D angle, which I'm gonna say right now, the 3D angle was lame to me. It wasn't. The 3D effects wasn't that great. I mean, the 3D effects in Friday the 13th Part 3D was a lot better. I thought the shit was lame. Those are the old school 3D glasses with the red and blue lens, which looks so fucking corny today. But so this is where we put our 3D glasses on. But I'll tell you what, it wasn't much. Even Maggie goes, "Are you kidding me?" And then he says, "Put these on, it'll work." Even I would have been saying, like, "You fucking serious? I gotta put on 3D glasses for this?" So Maggie falls asleep, and then this is when we learn some interesting things. I mean, first we go to we learn more about Freddy's past. You know, we see Freddy. She visits little Freddy at elementary school. Freddy grabbing a hammer and he's hitting. I think it was like a rat. I don't think it was a rat. It was a hamster, wasn't it?
Hamster.
A hamster.
Yeah.
He's like hitting a hamster, and the kids just mock him like "son of 100 maniacs, son of 100 maniacs." And I'm sitting here like, man, no wonder why Freddy got so fucked up. One, he don't know who his father is, the son of 100 maniacs, and two, a bunch of fucking kids are teasing him about it. So yeah, I
no, I thought it was like he did that to the hamster, and then they called it.
Yeah, he did it to the hamster, and then that was when they told son of 100 maniacs. I'm like, well, kids, you're not fucking helping at all. I mean, now it kind of makes sense how he was a child, why he forever fucking hated kids. So after we learn that, then and then after that we meet teenage Freddy. And it was kind of interesting because we get a cameo from Alice Cooper, who plays Freddy's I think grandpa? No, stepfather. His stepfather, and then we see, you know, him like he's cutting himself, you know, and laughing about it. And then we see Alice Cooper, you know, coming in, going to beat on Freddy with his belt, and then of course he's no-selling it, and he's like, "Come on, hit me harder," and stuff. And then he tends to, cut Alice Cooper with his razor. So I'm like, okay, so this is where we learn how fucked up Freddy is as an individual. And then we also go to when Freddy is killed, when he's burned. And then some bullshit about like 3 demons, flying around him, giving him power whatsoever. Like, like how much of the power do you want? The Robin goes, I want it all, and stuff. Like, I'm like, okay, this shit's stupid. Okay, this is stupid right here. We don't need to know this. And we basically learn how Freddy got his dream powers and shit, and then it goes into Freddy. I'm like, okay, this is dumb. Okay, this is dumb. And then, Maggie finds the little girl, sees herself as a little girl, and then she sees Freddy killing her mother, and then Freddy goes, "It's okay, dear. Mommy just had to take her medicine. It's all right." Then she kneels down, and then she goes, "But you won't tell, will you, honey?" And then, Maggie as a little kid goes, "I won't tell." I don't know why, but when Freddy is in his human form, he's fucking creepy in his human form too. I don't know why, but he is. Showing again, just goes to the acting of Robert Englund, I guess. So Arnold, your thoughts on? Did you care about learning about the origins of Freddy as a child, as a teenager, and what he's become now? Personally, I didn't care. I didn't really need to see it, but I guess it's okay. And how lame was the 3D effects to you?
Extremely lame.
Yeah.
The whole comedic aspect of it was stupid. Like showing him as a youth, stupid. I don't like it. I don't like any of it. It's so stupid. But we just got to her seeing inside Freddy's head, right? We haven't got past that, right?
Yeah, I'm sitting here like, okay, I don't have to know about how Freddy was as a kid. I don't have to know how he liked to cut himself when he was a teenager, okay? I liked it how it was before, okay? Mother being raped, son of 100 maniacs, he has the power to be Or hell, just don't even tell us his mother was raped. He's just a dream monster. Again, it's a lot more scary when we don't know their motivation, but so now Maggie finds herself in the boiler room, and and Freddy goes, "Now it's time to take your medicine." And then Maggie goes, "You killed my mother!" And then hits him with a pipe. I'm like, oh shit, here we go. So she grabs Freddy, and then and then they're trying, Tracy and the doc trying to wake her up. And so then she wakes up, but now Freddy, trying to find Freddy because Freddy's not around. So they slowly look for Freddy. And then Maggie is trapped in some sort of in some sort of cage because Freddy crawls on the wall, crawls on the ceiling, and he closes the door. So he tells Maggie, I didn't use a glove to kill your mother, and I don't need one now. So now this is Freddy at his weakest. Freddy is in the reality world right now. So the game the ball is in Maggie's court now. So he grabs Maggie by the throat. He's choking her. And then Maggie, which I'm gonna tell you what, this fight wasn't much to me. I had more of a kick of Nancy kicking Freddy's ass or Alice kicking his ass, but I just don't personally feel connected to Maggie. So she headbutts Freddy. No, she's punching. She keeps punching Freddy, and then he's like, I forgot what he kept begging. No, yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. I can't believe I forgot this. It's getting a little late for me. Maggie has Freddy's glove. He has Freddy's glove, and Freddy's saying, "Give it back." And she's like, "No, give it." This is how it was to me. Give it back. No, give it back. No. I'm like, fuck. This is what I got Freddy doing. So Freddy's like, "Give me the glove. Give me the glove now." And then Freddy goes, and then Maggie goes, "In your dreams," bites his nose, and then she rolls over, and then Maggie goes, "Oh, Daddy, I remember when we used to hold hands when we were a kid. And guess what? I didn't like it either." Breaks his hand. And that kind of like Freddy's line where he goes, "Oh, I forgot how much it hurts to be human." And so then Tracy's hands Freddy's hands Freddy Maggie knives, and she pins Freddy into a wall, and then she grabs a pipe and stabs Freddy, and then Freddy's telling her, "Go ahead, put it on," and stuff, and Maggie doesn't want to do it. But then Freddy, he's pulling the knives out of him. He's pulling the little metal thing out of him and shit. And then he goes, "Go ahead, put it on. It feels good, doesn't it?" And then she goes towards, and he's like, "Yeah, come on. Let your daddy show you how to use it." And then Maggie is walks towards Freddy, stabs him with the glove. And I'm like, Nancy did that in part 3. I saw this already. And then Tracy hands Maggie a dynamite stick, stabs Freddy, and then Maggie goes, "Happy Father's Day," and kisses him. And she gets out the cage, and then fucking Doc has like super strength and like rips the door open. I'm like, fuck, this motherfucker's Kane now? No, not Kane. He's Kincaid now? I'm like, fuck, I miss Kincaid. So they run, and then Freddy looks in the camera and goes, "Kids." And he blows up. And then for the last 3D effect, multiple Freddy heads coming towards the screen. Then the 3 demons coming towards the screen and shit. And I'm like, okay, this is clear for 3D effect. And then they laugh it off. And then Maggie goes, "Freddy's dead." And then end credits. And then we get a pretty cool montage of a tribute video from the last 6 Nightmare on Elm Street films. So my thoughts on the final scene. Not impressed. I was not the biggest fan of this fight scene. Again, I had more enjoyment of Nancy versus Freddy and Alice versus Freddy. This on, and being that this is supposed to be Freddy's final appearance, I thought that he would die in a much more spectacular fashion. I mean, he dies in the real world, yes. But him blowing up, just simply blowing up, and his daughter had to do it. I expected more bigger. I don't know. I thought it was a little lackluster to me. All your thoughts on the confrontation scene of Maggie and Freddy?
I thought it was really stupid. It was really weak ending because all this tension, all this build up from his killing everybody to even showing his stuff like growing up, hamster cutting himself, killing the mom, and all that tension should have been an epic fight, but no, we don't get that. He almost killed her, and then he just threw like a bunch of stuff at him, and he couldn't move from that. I didn't get that. I didn't like that. And then she ends up killing him, and then finally they get the door open, even though they've been trying for the past 20 minutes to get the door open, and they couldn't. So that was stupid. It's very, very weak.
Yeah, I wasn't really impressed, but yeah, like I said, we get the roll credits and we get the montage, which I liked the tribute montage and the song that goes "Freddy's dead" and stuff. So I guess this is the stamp, this is basically Freddy's goodbye, basically. That's funny. I also heard that at the last day of shooting this film, they even had like a funeral. They had a funeral for Freddy. So I'm like, oh, okay, so they were really serious about this. They going into this, they agreed this is gonna be the last fucking movie. Yeah. So, final thoughts on Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. Again, was a little too cartoony for my taste. Yes. Too goofy for my taste. Yes. Comical, yes, at times. But the positives I could give this, I liked the Spencer and Carlos character. The Tracy character, long story short, I was more like, whatever. Well, I didn't really give a fuck whether she lived or died, personally. I thought she tried too hard to be a tough girl and was a bitch most of the time. But James, her backstory, yeah, but it seemed more forced. Again, another positive. Robert Englund is great as again as Freddy. Um, Again, not too many complaints from him. Uh, the dude who played John Doe, I thought he was okay. I thought Lisa Zane as Maggie was okay, even though I did not like the fact that it had to be her to kill Freddy. If it was Nancy or Alice, that would have made more sense to me. I like the dream sequences. I had fun with the dream sequences. Like the beginning, the airplane scene, the Spencer Depp scene with the video game, Freddy with the hearing aid. I had fun with the dream sequences. I could just tell going into this film that they did not intend on making a serious film. They did not intend on making a serious film, obviously. But I had fun with it. I'm sorry. I had fun watching this film. I thought it was a fun movie. So out of 10, I'll give this movie I'll give it a 5. I'll give it a 5 out of 10. And a lot of that was Robert Englund and the dream sequences, and I liked the Carlos and Spencer characters. So 5 out of 10 for me. Arl, your overall thoughts and final rating?
I really didn't like it. It was great. It was way too comfortable for a serious movie. Should have been. It was average. I don't know what to give the other ones. Let's give it 4 out of 10.
4 out of 10. Yeah, that sounds about right. Like I said, again, it was just too comedic for my liking. So there you have it. There's the Freddy's Dead, the Final Nightmare movie review. And next week we're going to review Wes Craven's New Nightmare. Heather Langenkamp comes back as herself, and this one's an interesting concept. It's not really Freddy. As a little quick synopsis, it's not Freddy as Freddy is more like a real life monster in this movie. It's not the dream world. He's more like a real life killer in this movie. And so I'm interested in seeing this film because this is a brand new take in the Nightmare on Elm Street films. And of course, Wes Craven directs the film, and Heather Langenkamp comes back, and Robert Englund comes back. So I'm interested to see this film because this is a lot different from all the Nightmare films that we've seen thus far. So I'm interested. So yeah. So I'll go ahead and plug in your stuff. No, fuck it. I'll do it. At Clean Silverware. There you go. And you can find me at jtims101193 on Twitter. Also, you could subscribe to my King JT channel. Also, you could subscribe to my Simply James Timms channel, JamesThames. That's my main channel, and I'll leave the review on here, and I'll also put it in the playlist for my main channel. Also on that channel, for any new subscribers, Arlo and I did the Halloween series, the Friday the 13th series, the Terminator series. Now we're doing this series as well. So go ahead and check those out. And yeah, we're only two movies away from completing the series. So yeah. So thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next week. Again, New Nightmare review. Interesting take. I'm definitely looking forward to it. And hope you guys enjoyed this review. And also subscribe to the rest of the Blitz team. Mad Genius, Adam. I believe next Saturday, Adam will do another random sports talk video. Always look forward to doing those. Justin G. Bryan, Nick, FAF Nick 55, Bruce Blitz at blitzsportsnetwork.com, and the rest of the Blitz team. So give us your support. We appreciate it. So thank you. Everybody have a great weekend, and see you guys next week. We are out. Peace.